Hi, I'm Holly, and with my sister Heather, you're listening to Haunted Family Podcast, a weekly podcast about the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, and even some true crime.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
That's pretty much it. Yes.
Yeah.
We are a little bit of
this
everything.
For a couple years now. I am sitting extremely still on my bed because my computer likes to spontaneously shut down. So
I got a new computer. Well, okay, new to me computer. Holly needs one next.
You know what's funny is I actually have two computers, because I have a netbook, but the program that I do shirts with for my shop takes up all of the space on the computer. Like, I don't have anything else on the computer except for that program. But what makes that super funny though is that I can't, if I download designs or something, if I've purchased designs and I download them, I have to then move it to an external hard drive because literally the computer has no room for anything like that. So, and that's my good computer. So, we've posted it on our Facebook page, and we posted it, I think, maybe on Instagram too. The girl in the creepy door ringing video has been found alive.
Surprisingly.
Yes, because Heather and I both were talking about that if she did run away from her captor, he probably killed her, but surprise, she is alive, thankfully.
Well, I was talking about it with several cop friends of mine, and they were all like, I think we got a David Ray Parker here, and chances are if he caught her, she's dead.
Actually, David Ray Parker is exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, oh my God, that poor girl. I mean, still that poor girl, but I mean, at least it wasn't something like David Ray Parker. And if you're listening and you don't know who we're talking about,
go find our episode on it.
We have an episode, Toy Box Killer, and it is awful. Very, very much a listener discretion.
Yeah, probably like the first 30 minutes.
Hardcore trigger warnings. It's a bad episode.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I think we did a good job. But David Ray Parker is just a evil, evil guy.
Sick, disturbing. Very disturbing. Actually, one of our cousins visited the town that he lived in just 2 months ago?
Yeah, she is a super awesome travel nurse, and so she gets to travel the United States, which is a passion of hers, and practice nursing, which is another passion of hers. And so she goes to anywhere that she's ever wanted to visit, she gets a nursing assignment there, and she's doing good and she's having fun, and it's great. I mean, I could never be a nurse. Hats off to all of our nurses. I was a CNA for a while, and I could not hack it. I can't. Healthcare is too hard. But yeah, so she took a picture of herself super near where the trailer was found, and she was like, yep, it is as creepy here as you think it would be.
And most of the people on our Facebook list didn't know where she was.
Yeah.
But we were both like, oh my God! Because we're nerds.
The three of us are the black sheep of the family. We're making our own little herd.
Yeah. Black sheep are more fun.
Definitely. So we do have anything else to add that's happened since we recorded last?
Not really.
We're still
chugging along at our YouTube channel. I think we're up to 41 subscribers. Yay!
Yay!
as we've mentioned before, when we finally hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, which means that we can get a custom URL on YouTube, which is important for making us easier to find.
Right. Until then, I'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah. When we finally hit that very important 1,000 subscriber mark, we are going to give an awesome prize pack to a very lucky listener and subscriber, full of awesomeness. Because, I mean, you can just ask the person who got our last prize pack. We give good stuff.
We do. And it's actually been a while, so we are, I think we're due. We're due another.
Yeah. I think, what all did we put in the last one? Stickers and a
We had
travel mug and
a shirt.
a hat that was embroidered.
Yeah,
Just all kinds of things. I can't even remember right now. But
oh, we had some buttons.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So this is a fun episode.
It is.
After we've had some serious, and now we're kind of going fun.
It's something that interests me a lot.
Right. And well, if you look on Etsy and you look for mermaid or unicorn or Bigfoot,
Unicorns are real.
you see that, there's lots of other people that are apparently interested in this topic too.
Yeah, I mean, just in your shop, we got Puckwedgie and
Bigfoot, I think that's it. But I should do. Oh no, I got some mermaid stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say you have to have mermaids. You're raising pretty much two.
That is true.
We are talking about cryptids.
Right, and again, just like the UFO episode, this is going to be the first of many because there are just too many for us to cover in one episode.
Yeah. Cryptozoologist, which is somebody who studies cryptids. I know that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like an idiot for having said that.
But isn't it funny that a zoologist is not somebody who studies zoos?
True. Okay. George Eberhardt classifies 10 types of mysterious animals that fall under the umbrella of cryptozoology. They can be distribution anomalies. Animals that are often reported being sighted outside of their normal range. So, like, this example was big cats like lions and stuff being spotted in UK. I don't know if they would consider cougars being spotted in eastern Kentucky a cryptid. I think they still just consider that traveling cougars. Even though I'm 100% sure we have a breeding population in eastern Kentucky. And Fish and Wildlife has just got their head in their butt.
I am positive that one time I was walking around the lake and saw a panther. Seriously. Huge black cat. I mean, I guess it could be a cougar that's laid out in the sun too long or got a tan. Been visiting the tanning bed or
Rolled
something.
In some coal.
But no. Okay, that one's possible. But anyway, it was a big black cat. And I was super torn because you know me and I kind of wanted to pet it. And then I also kind of didn't want my face to be ripped off. So I let it be.
Yeah. Undescribed, unusual, or outsized variations of known species. Like giant anacondas in the Amazon or spotted lions in Africa.
I would say that those were just weird breeding.
Or mutations.
Right.
Survival of recently extinct species of animals. Like the ivory-billed woodpecker, the Tasmanian tiger, Stellar sea cow. I didn't even know a sea cow was a thing.
I thought the sea cow was the manatee.
Barbara, manatee.
You are the one for me, one for me.
We probably know VeggieTales a ton of money now.
Okay, no, actually, we'll just say, please listen to VeggieTales. It's a great part of your Sunday morning cartoons.
Yes. Lingerlings were survival of species known from the fossil record much later into historical times than currently thought. The woolly mammoth originally thought to be extinct in 12,000 BCE, but occasionally reported to have survived into much later eras.
Cool.
Animals not known from the fossil record, but related to known species. The Adian wolf, or the striped manta ray. Animals not known in the fossil record, nor related to any known species. Bigfoot and some sea monsters. But I think Bigfoot is probably related to apes, so...
Right.
Mythical animals with a zoological basis. The griffin.
Like Gryffindor?
Which is partially inspired by dinosaur fossils in Central Asia. Seemingly paranormal or supernatural entities with animal-like characteristics. Mothman, black dogs, fairies.
I have a black dog.
Like mythical black dogs, like that truckers and stuff supposedly see.
Oh, no, Wesley is very much a real dog. Although sometimes I do mistake him for a mop.
Known hoaxes or probable misidentifications. Like the jackalope. I'm sorry, the jackalope's real. I saw one at a truck stop out west when I was like 3.
Yes, yes.
There's a lot of cryptids.
There are.
Like, lots.
Like lots and lots. So, I wanted to start with my favorite, Emmy's favorite, probably the one that she's like most obsessed about in life. And that's the mermaid.
Yeah, Emmy is probably part mermaid.
Yeah. So, actually, mermaid, the idea of a mermaid actually goes back to like 63 BCE. Like,
I didn't know it went back that far.
Yeah, like multiple artists in Emperor Augustus's times drew pictures of mermaids. There was cave paintings during, so I guess it probably like Stone Age period of mermaids. So some, I started to say some notable mermaid sightings, but let's just talk a little bit about a mermaid first before I jump into that.
So would it be possible for me to have a pet mermaid?
Probably. I mean, did you ever watch the movie Splash? It came on in the 80s.
Yes.
I mean,
I could just, never mind, I don't have a bathtub.
I have a bathtub. I could keep a mermaid.
I have a feed trough outside, like a water trough. I guess that would work.
Well, sure.
I mean, I wouldn't even make her share with the ducks.
So,
because ducks are nasty.
The obviously a mermaid is half fish, half human. So, like, bottom half is fish, top half is human. Either a girl for a mermaid, boy for a merman. And in our history of mermaids and our sightings of mermaids, the mermaid is always beautiful, and she's luring sailors to their death. Mermen are able to summon storms and capsize boats, but I don't know how I don't know how a mermaid could possibly be beautiful. Because
I've never seen a. Yeah, I don't think a fish is beautiful.
Well,
So.
I mean, I don't either, but I'm just saying that, okay, I used to swim. I used to be a competitive swimmer. And so I spent a lot of time in the water. Not like mermaid level time in the water, but I spent a lot of time in the water. Your hair does not look good when you spend that much time in the water. Even with a swim cap on, swim season, my hair looked like shit. Always.
I think that people have this perception that the swim cap keeps your hair completely dry.
That doesn't, people. The swim cap's purpose is not to keep your hair dry. It's to eliminate drag from your hair.
And mermaids don't have that luxury.
Right. I mean,
So their hair is just out in the water, loose, getting stuff tangled in it.
Right. And then the salt water, and I mean, none of that is good. And then if you think that you're in the water all the time, you're going to be pruny looking. And you're not going to be at the surface all the time. Like 95% of the ocean has not really been explored. The ocean is huge. So, yes, I think it's possible that there are creatures in the ocean that we've not encountered yet.
That we have not. Yeah. Is one a mermaid? I don't know.
I mean, completely possible.
I don't rule. And I think that's what I want you to do when you look at cryptids. Suspend your...
What you think you know?
Yeah.
I think like if the ocean is that huge, which it is, and you've got the potential for all kinds of stuff to be in the ocean that we don't know about. But my thought is that the mermaid cannot possibly look like we think that she looks like. She's probably super pale from being far down in the water with no sunlight.
Scaly.
She's probably scaly and pruny, and her hair is probably disgusting if she has much hair. Yeah, I just think that the idea of the beautiful mermaid luring sailors to their death can't possibly. That part I find complete fault with. Do I think the creature could be real? Yes. Let me see. In 1614 in Newfoundland, John Smith, yes, that John Smith,
Boo!
he said that he saw a mermaid swimming, and she had large eyes and a smallish nose and long ears and green hair. And he fell in love with her. And then he realized that she had the tail of a fish, and she swam away.
Weird.
Yeah. Christopher Columbus apparently also saw a mermaid, but he agrees with me and said that it was ugly. The only thing Christopher Columbus and I agree on.
Boo, Christopher Columbus.
In the 1800s, you started getting lots and lots of fake tales of mermaids. Like P.T. Barnum had what he called the Fiji mermaid, and he would put it on display for people, and they'd pay him 50 cents to come and look at it. Okay, to most people, it was obvious that it was a fake. But, you know, just like dumbasses looking at obvious fake Photoshop, sometimes they either don't care or they want to be fooled.
Oh my God.
Because they believed that
bad Photoshops are like the bane of my existence on Facebook.
They believed that a fake corpse that was just a few feet tall, and the top was a monkey and the bottom was a fish. They believed that that was a mermaid. In 2009, actually we've got one from farther back. In 1222, supposedly a body of a mermaid washed up in Japan, and they had its bones on display for like 800 years. But they never did any kind of scientific testing, so they have no clue really what it is. But after 800 years, the bones are kind of mostly dust. So, but in 2009, off the coast of Israel, a man said that he saw a mermaid laying on the rocks sunbathing, and when him and his friends got close to her, she jumped in the water and then just disappeared. And as she jumped in, they realized that she had a tail. Now, you know what we always say about eyewitness testimony here. Maybe
it's not always the best.
Right. And in 2012, Animal Planet did a special called Mermaids, The Body Found. And it was a fake documentary, but it was so good that there were lots and lots of people who thought that it was a real documentary. And I watched it, and it was great.
Emmy became obsessed with mermaids because of
yes, that. Like for the longest time, if you asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up, she would say a marine biologist.
And now she says...
now she says she's going to be an actress.
Oh, I thought she said she wouldn't be Wesley seeing our mom.
Well, she's already Wesley seeing our mom.
Poor little blind puppy. He's so lucky he has her.
He has no teeth now. Well, he only has a couple teeth now. So every morning she gets up for school and she microwaves him breakfast.
We do the same thing with Chloe.
Of regular dog food, and she mixes in some, like, sometimes it's broth, sometimes it's just water, and she microwaves it, and then she lets it cool off, and then she feeds him. And then when she comes home from school, she feeds him wet dog food.
Does she feed him with a spoon?
No, she puts the bowl in front of him, but she feeds him on her bed. You can imagine how messy that gets. So that's all I have about mermaids, but I don't know. I have questions. Like, how do we get mermaid babies?
Do they lay eggs?
I mean, the top is a mammal.
Do they live birth?
Where would they live? How would they live birth? I don't know. These are very important questions that when Emmy becomes a marine biologist actress, or an actress on a marine biology show, she needs to find out for me. So, anyway, that's my favorite. So, do you have one?
I don't have a favorite, no.
Okay, do you have one to share?
I do. Actually, this one just is not one from my notes, but I was going through this big list of cryptids while you were talking, and I found one that's name caught my eye.
So you were not paying attention to me at all.
I was talking.
No, I was talking.
But I was interjecting things. No, but I found this. I was going through this list, and I found Callie.
Okay,
y'all, I have this bird in the house. I have a parrot, and she is the most obnoxious bird in the world. I'm afraid that just by saying her name that she's going to start screaming at me. I love her to death. I do. But the people who owned her before me, well, I mean, she has his personality. I will just say that. And that's not good. So she just screams and screams and screams. Tons of toys, gets free time to fly, in the house. Still, she likes to scream. She's just a screamer. Well, we call her Demon Bird as her nickname. I was scrolling through this list, and there's a bird on this list of cryptids called the Devil Bird. It is clearly one of Callie's relatives.
That's funny.
Right. Now, this cryptid is from Sri Lanka, and it is said to emit a blood-curdling, human-sounding scream at night from deep within the jungle. Sri Lankan folklore says that the cry of this bird is an omen that portends death. So similar, I guess, to the banshee.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to add that sailors and stuff would say that seeing a mermaid is a bad omen and that it means bad things are going to happen. I guess they're just that bad about sinking ships and stuff. Continue with the devil bird.
Okay. They have a few contenders of what this bird might really be. One is a spot-bellied eagle owl, and one is a changeable hawk eagle. I've never heard of either of those.
I have not either.
And an oriental honey buzzard.
Okay, I don't know what that is either.
Yeah. I'm guessing they are all native Sri Lankan birds. And Sri Lankan folklore said that the devil bird was originally a person who in anguish fled to the forest, clutching their head with one hand, and now the bird has a crest where the person's hand was. Interesting.
Very.
Maybe we should do a future episode on different things in mythology that is supposed to portend death.
Yes, let's do that.
Put that on our list. We have actually ran out of... This is our next to last episode before we run out of topics. Actually, we don't run out of topics. We run out of our set schedule.
Right. Oh, no, we have a long list of topics.
I was amazed when researching for this, and like we said, we won't be able to get through all cryptids in this, but I was amazed by how many different monkey ape-like cryptids are on the list. The Dewey Lake Monster, which is in Michigan. I got excited thinking it was Dewey Lake near my house.
Oh, that's sad.
Is a primate type thing. Deloy's ape in Colombia is a monkey. Well, a monkey type animal. And just, on and on and on of different monkey type cryptids. The eastern cougars in the eastern part of the United States, is actually on the list.
That's cool.
Well, they say that the eastern cougar is extinct, but there's actually research that says that the eastern cougar, well, that subspecies of cougar never actually existed in the first place. That there is no genetic difference between the eastern cougar and the western cougar.
I mean, I would say not.
There is a werewolf-like creature in Louisiana.
Cool. What's it called?
Did you know that?
I did not. But I'm always fascinated with werewolf stuff.
Yes. Okay, I'm probably mispronouncing this. It's called the Garou.
Okay.
Or the Loup Garou Cajun werewolf.
That just sounds doubly scary.
So what other cryptids did you research for tonight?
Well, I thought that I would continue with the ocean theme and go with probably the first one that I ever heard about. I mean, like
Nessie?
Probably aside from mermaids was Nessie. So
Fun fact, Nessie is real, and Nessie lives in my spoon jar in the kitchen.
yes, was it last Christmas?
I think so.
Last Christmas, I got Mom and Heather Nessie ladles. And when you set Nessie in a pot, she stands up with her head poking out. Super adorable. In the Loch Ness, in the Scottish Highlands, there is supposedly a sea creature that kind of looks like it could be a dinosaur to me. And it started coming to like national attention in 1933. There's been a few pictures of things that look like it could be Nessie, and there are sonar readings. So There are similar things to Nessie, like Champ, who is in Lake Champlain, Ogopogo,
which is in a lake in Canada.
right, and okay, the other two, I'm just not even going to attempt to pronounce it because it would be an embarrassment.
There is Tahoe Tessie in Lake Tahoe. The Flathead Lake Monster in Flathead Lake, Montana. Didn't we visit Flathead Lake once upon a time?
I think we did.
There's Morag in Lake Moorer. There is there's Brown Nessie, Bow Nessie in Lake Windermere, England. There's Bessie in Lake Erie. I did not see Bessie when we visited Lake Erie.
No, I didn't either.
There's Chessie. Do you know where Chessie is?
No.
Chesapeake Bay.
Oh, of course it would be. So George Spicer, in 1933, actually said that him and his wife were driving around the loch, and they see this dragon, prehistoric animal looking thing, and it is walking across the road towards the loch, and it actually had another animal in its mouth.
That's scary.
I know, and so that's apparently the only report of Nessie being outside of the water. So, but they, she could be a sea serpent or a dragon or whatever. But again, like with mermaids, history and mythology go back forever talking about sea creatures. Like, not specifically naming Nessie, but sea creatures that describe Nessie. So, possible. I don't know how big Loch Ness is, so I can't really, I can't really say. At least with the ocean, I can say the ocean is freaking huge.
It is 23 miles.
So I would...
Wait, no, sorry. It's 23 miles from the nearest big city. It is the second largest loch in Scotland. 22 square miles.
Cool.
At its deepest point is 230 meters deep. Yeah.
Well, in 1967 and 68, they did sonar testing on the loch. And they covered it with a net, an acoustic net, so that they could monitor all movement in the loch. And they did this for 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, they actually got several targets. So one they think was a school of fish. But there were other pings that were not typical of fish, and it was moving at 10 knots. Very much could be a sea creature. So, and in 72, they kind of did the same thing again, and they put submersible cameras under the water, and then they turned on lights and took pictures. So with this, they did get another ping. It was highly flexible, laterally flattened tail. Or, because scientists don't want to admit this, that there could be something. They said that it could possibly just be two animals that were swimming together and it got misinterpreted.
Yeah, totes.
Yeah. So basically, totally possible that at least in the 60s and 70s that there was something living in Loch Ness. Now, whether or not it has survived, I don't know. That's a long time. So some of the things that they have tried to blame, these sightings and the sonar on is bird wakes.
What?
Yeah, so it's like,
Is that like the cryptid version of it was just a weather balloon?
yeah, kind of. No, it's wakes. I don't know how they're getting. It's zigzagging patterns, though. Listen, I've been on boats before, and I've never seen a wake zigzag. I mean, boats don't turn on a dime like that. Anyway, large eels.
Like the shrieking eels from Princess Bride.
Yes. An elephant.
In Loch Ness.
Yes.
Just an elephant paddling around in the Scottish Highlands.
Yes.
Yeah, makes total sense. I believe it.
Greenland shark. They can get up to 20 feet long.
What would he be doing there, though?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Maybe you should be.
No, it's too much work. It's not creative enough. Or it could be trees.
Yeah, I believe that one. It's totally trees.
Optical effects. So, basically we just can't see. Or my favorite, the weather balloon. I mean, seismic gas.
Oh, they're serious, right?
Very much so. Yeah. I think, though, it's probably a plesiosaur. Plesiosaurus.
That's what I've said since I was little.
I mean, to me, that just makes sense. Also, I mean, we know at one time dinosaurs were here. We know that. So, what's to say that some of them survived? I mean, we know that there are some animals that we have today that was also alive when the dinosaurs were. I mean, everything didn't die off. So what's to say that we don't have a couple of dinosaurs that survived? To me, that just makes way more sense than anything else.
With some, you have to show them multiple examples of it, like physically laying dead in front of them before they believe it.
Well, that's true.
Okay, so I'm sure most of our listeners know that I have goats.
Yes, we've talked about them.
Yes. Well, do you know that Kentucky has a cryptid? And actually, Kentucky is not alone in this. A few other states do as well. That is half goat, half man.
I did not know that.
Kentucky's is known as the Pope Lick Monster. There's one in Texas called the Lake Worth Monster. And then the one in Maryland is just called Goat Man. Because, Maryland's just going to cut to the chase.
I was just going to say the same thing. That Maryland is just like, fuck y'all and your long names.
Maryland's is kind of scary, though. Because their Goat Man wields an axe.
Well, yeah.
And a legend says that he was once a scientist at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. And while doing an experiment on goats, accidentally mutated himself and turned himself half goat.
Totally believable.
Yeah. And now he lives as a hermit in the backwoods and attacks cars with an axe on the back roads near Beltsville.
I mean, basically that just sounds like a lot of drunk people in eastern Kentucky.
Pretty much. Sorry, Marilyn, I'm going to have to call bunk on yours. I think what you just have here is a good old-fashioned urban legend to keep kids off the back roads at night.
Right.
Because kids on the back roads at night do bad things.
Truth.
Kentucky's, we've talked about visiting this place several times because it's in Louisville. But it's actually illegal to visit the actual site because it's trespassing, because it's railroad tracks. And for those of you who don't know, all railroad tracks are owned by the railroad company. And if you step foot on railroad tracks, you are trespassing.
I know, but we've done pictures on railroad tracks because it's cool.
Well, I think they actually have a sign up and everything here because it's train trestle. so it's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. According to the legend, this goat man in Kentucky will use mimicry to try to lure trespassers out onto the trestle in front of trains so they'll die. He doesn't because he's smart.
There's a lot of that. Cryptids luring people to their death. Basically, people, if you see something that's not human, like, don't follow it.
Actually, don't be following humans that you don't know either.
Oh, that's true.
Kentucky's goat man apparently also has an axe. In some tellings of the story, he has an axe. And he will jump down off the train trestle onto the roofs of cars.
Yeah, that sounds straight up urban legend-ish.
Yeah, there's been several movies made about Kentucky's goat man. Someone actually died recently. As recently as 2016. A tourist from Ohio decided that they were going to go to the train trestle to see the public monster. And while they were out on the tracks, while they was out on the trestle, the train came. She was hit by the train. Her boyfriend was able to hang off the side of the train trestle and survive.
Oh, bad news.
Yeah. Because this is still an active set of train tracks. The Norfolk Southern train still uses this track. So, please, don't go looking for the public monster. Because what you will find is a big old train, and they don't stop.
Right. Well, they can't stop.
You'll end up having a bad day. The train conductor will have a bad day. It won't be good.
Depending on where it's at, my friend Jeff will have a really bad day, and then his wife will have to hear about it, and then she'll have a really bad day, and then I'll have to hear about it. And people, ain't nobody got time for that.
That's a whole lot of bad days. The Lake Worth monster. Lake Worth is right outside of Fort Worth, and this goat man also has scales.
Maybe he's part mermaid.
So maybe. One of the first sightings was reported in a newspaper in Lake Worth in July of 1969, saying that this monster had jumped out of a tree and landed on a man's car.
I would be terrified.
Local police, of course, say that they have found no evidence to support that there is a monster. I kind of think that the Lake Worth kind of sounds like a bunch of kids trying to start their own urban legend.
I think so too.
And they probably heard about, other goat man type cryptids and was like, hey, this sounds cool. Let's do this. Because he follows the same pattern as the other ones. Jumping out of things onto cars. But that is typical goat behavior. Goats love to jump on top of cars.
They're goats.
I don't know what it is about them. Except goats are weird. So there has been a few animals throughout time that at one time were considered cryptids and have now been proven to exist, or was a cryptid and then was proved that they were not actually extinct. One example was the coelacanth that they thought was extinct for years, and then apparently fishermen had been catching it, and so they found that it really was still alive. The African peacock was long believed to be just a cryptid. It sadly does not have the big plumage that regular peacocks have. I mean, it's very colorful, but it doesn't have the big fanned tail.
Oh, but that's the good thing about peacocks.
I know. But I mean, birds. People thought that we had already discovered as many as we was going to find. And then They were found in, unlike Asian peacocks, these, while they're still, greens and blues, they're kind of a matte color. And they were, their first sightings were in the late 1930s in the Congo. And actually, there was another cryptid that, they thought was a cryptid. I can't pronounce this word. Okapi. It kind of looks like, it's got like zebra legs and a horse body and like weird like ears. It's described as kind of a cross between a zebra, a donkey, and a giraffe. And it was long actually called the African unicorn because it was so bizarre, descriptions of it. And in 1901, Sir Harry Johnston, who was the British governor of Uganda at the time, obtained pieces of its hide.
Oh, that's sad.
And skull.
Yeah, we live in a world where a platypus is the thing. Well, is a thing. Not the thing.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing that exists.
It's not the only thing that exists.
It's late, people. Anyway, we live in a world where platypus is a thing. So, in my opinion, that means anything is possible. Just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean it can't be there.
Cyclops sharks are a thing now.
That might just be from pollution, though.
Well, they were long considered to actually be a hoax until the fetus of one, 22 inches long, was discovered. But these are not so much they believe that these are actually you're kind of right, caused by pollution. They don't come right out and say pollution, but it's diseased animals that's causing cyclopia or whatever they call it when you just have one eye in the center of your head. A fisherman fishing off of in the Gulf of California went to cut open one of his catches and found 10 embryos. One male was cyclops and the rest were normal. So we do know that these are not hoaxes, that they do exist in nature, but they're existing in nature due to a defect. I think it's amazing when these cryptids can be proved, and maybe not, that this exists naturally, like the African peacock, but that, these do exist and this is the reason for them to exist.
Right.
Yeah, I spent so many times just reading through the different types of cryptids, and I was kind of amazed. Like I said, I was really amazed by how many ape-like creatures.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, how many species of ape-like things are there? I mean, okay, when I go to the zoo, to me, like a chimpanzee and a bonobo, and they're all pretty much the same thing to me.
Okay. Did you know that West Virginia has 2 cryptids less than 2 hours apart?
I did not know that.
Okay. All of our listeners probably have heard about Mothman, right?
Uh-huh.
What about the Flatwoods Monster?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Leave it to Greenup County to have their own monster.
No, this is Flatwoods, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. It could be because both of them are right there together.
Yeah, Flatwoods, West Virginia, Frametown, West Virginia. They're not actually sure if it is a cryptid or if it might be a alien.
Which we covered already.
Yeah. It is approximately 10 feet tall and 4 foot wide, and appears to be wearing some sort of space suit.
Weird.
And has a cowl-shaped hood over his head. Its eyes appear to be glowing green-orange, and people who've reported seeing it said they look like portholes.
That's creepy.
Yeah. The first sighting was at 7:15 p.m. on September 12th, 1952, by 3 little boys who first saw a bright object cross the sky and come to rest on a farm close to them. And there have been more recent sightings as of 2010.
So, pretty recent.
But, I mean, that, where it's wearing a suit kind of thing, and it might actually be an alien.
Yeah, I don't know too many, like, animals or whatever in the wild that dresses up. I mean, like, my dogs wear clothes, but they don't just, like, go get an outfit, and they're like, hey,
my dogs also wear clothes.
I'm going to put this on.
You know what? I think that if Inigo could put on his Froggy shirt by himself, he probably would. He loves that shirt.
That's cute.
And it is actually just a toddler hoodie made out of, like, I don't even know, like, what type of material it is. And when you flip the hood up, it's got, like, frog ears and frog eyes. And he loves that shirt. My dog's weird. So, yeah. Definitely we'll be revisiting this probably later on this year.
Oh,
there's
definitely.
So many more that we can talk about. The ghost camel. The Jersey Devil, which we actually thought about stopping by the Pine Barrens, but we hate New Jersey.
Yeah, listen, people, I know we've said it before, but listeners in New Jersey, we love you. We really do. And if you would like to escape and come to Kentucky, we will help you. We will set up, like, something to help you get out of there. But New Jersey was bad for us. Like, granted, we were only on the New Jersey Turnpike, and a dear friend of mine moved to Kentucky from New Jersey, and she swears that all we saw was the bad part. But when that's all you see is the bad part, like, we don't have any good part to go on because everything was shut down.
Every time we stopped at a toll booth, I felt like I was being robbed.
Especially when we were crossing the bridge into New York, when I believe that it was like $75. I don't know. By that point, I was blacked out. Like,
I don't know. At that point in
I
time,
really
I was
blacked
just
out.
basically ready to just... Yeah, at that point in time, I was ready to just throw them our wallet and be like, take it all.
Just get me out of here.
Yeah. There's a cryptid called the Bat Squatch.
Oh, that's funny.
We will definitely be talking about that in our next episode. Like, this is the highlight reel for future things, because there are just so many awesome cryptids that we could probably, like, do 2 or 3 other episodes on this.
Oh, yeah, easily. So, do we have a stupid criminal?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm still laughing about last week's stupid criminal.
I think the world is still, like one of the morning news shows, like one of the big ones, even covered it.
It was crazy. Oh, I got one.
Okay.
This is also local. Listen, people, I know that Kentucky is not the only jacked up state. You guys have to possibly have these stupid criminals, and we would love for you to send them to us. And you can send them to us at hauntedfamilypodcast@gmail.com. So, this happened in Knox County, Kentucky. A Corbin man is facing charges because he faked a heart attack.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kenneth Ray Couch, 35. He stole a handgun. And when the deputies found out, they picked him up. they picked him up in an ambulance, though, because he was having a heart attack. You can't see, but I am air quoting that. They took him to Baptist Health in Corbin, where he gets out of the ambulance, walks to the cafeteria, and sits down to eat. And
that might be a problem.
Yeah. So that's where they arrested him from. So, yeah, the headline says, man fakes heart attack to get ride to the hospital cafeteria. And this is a funny mugshot. He's literally smiling. So it must have been good food.
Oh, I mean, some hospitals have good food. I'm sure. Somewhere.
Sure. Let's go with that. So, if you would like to buy a cryptid shirt or anything really, you can check out my Etsy shop, CatHairGlitter. I'll put a link in the show notes. And if you use the promo code HAUNTED, you get 10% off.
Yay!
And
everybody loves discounts.
Yes. So, and if you're looking through my shop and you have an idea of a shirt that I don't have, send me a message. Maybe we can work something out and you get a completely custom shirt. I also have throw pillows and coffee mugs also.
Me and the girls use her services all the time. Like,
literally, like,
we want this shirt. Can you make it?
Almost every shirt I own is something that I have made. And I love it. Twice this week, I've gotten messages back from people who bought shirts from me. And they sent me a message saying, this is literally the softest shirt I have ever put on. Can you make me another shirt? So I of course said yeah. So
yeah, Holly really does. She sources good shirts that she wants to wear because
that's what I told the lady, the last one, because she wanted a custom shirt, something I didn't have in my shop, and she was like, "Can you do, this design for me?" And it was going to be something super simple. I said, "Absolutely, I can." And she was like, "I don't know where you get these shirts, but they're so soft." And I was like, "Well, thank you. I buy material to work with that I want to wear myself because I wear it myself, And more often than not, I end up falling asleep in these shirts, and I want it to become comfortable.
And if you happen to win our prize pack that we're going to give away, 99% of the items in there is stuff that we personally have also, because we make products that we want to use.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, what's the point?
Exactly. It's like this podcast is because otherwise we would just be talking to each other about all these topics.
So we might as well talk to you guys.
This way we get to share them with you all.
If you want a podcast of your own, use Podbean, and our affiliate code for that is Haunted Family PB. I will put a link to our YouTube channel in the show notes. I'll put a link to my Etsy shop in the show notes. And
yeah, I'm trying to upload at least one video. I'm uploading one new video a week, usually 2. And these are paranormal storytime videos, in addition to us uploading this podcast directly to our YouTube channel.
Right. So if you subscribe to our YouTube, you get different content that's not just, the episode that you're listening to. So anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.